Welcome and happy Friday to everyone in the sports universe. It is February the 24th, 2023. For Aaron Crouch, who is underneath the lame duck, I am Michael Carvelis saying, "What's up, Aaron?"
What's up, everybody? Doing well. It's early in the morning over here on this coast, so
It is. It's like 5.
this
Good
is
Lord, it is.
the true AM drive over here.
Woo! Love it. Well, let's get right into it. We want to let you guys know, go to mikeandaarondrive.com and click the Our Shop tab to see all of our great merchandise, like that amazing hoodie, which I unfortunately do not have time to put on today, but Aaron's got one on. He's the company man, as you guys already knew that. mikeandaarondrive.com. That's a good hoodie. It's still holding up. I love it.
Yeah, it's been through the washer and still looks pretty good on the screen.
Do you dry it or do you just hang it up?
No, I just let it air dry.
It usually works pretty good, though.
Us fat guys got to be careful with the dryer. It could shrink.
That's a little bit raising up. Oh, boy. All right, yeah, you're right. Okay, so I'm going to get into Thursday now. That's copyrighted. I'm going to get into XFL Thursday prime time is what I'm calling it. I don't know what they're calling it. I didn't see the previews of the pregame. But long story short, XFL Week 2, Part 3 kicked off, if that makes any sense. This is the third time I've tried this. St. Louis Battlehawks are now 2-0 as they rallied with like a minute 13 left to beat the Seattle Sea Dragons, who are now 0-2 by a score of 20-18. Those that wanted the over-under of 38, it pushed. Boo! Those are not fun. A.J. McCarron, the quarterback for the St. Louis Battlehawks, yes, that A.J. McCarron, was amazingly clutch in this game. Like the last two drives, I think, were touchdowns. And on both throws, like the touchdown and the second one to set up the field goal, it was phenomenal. Like this guy was coming straight for him because offensive lines have not been great in the XFL so far. This guy comes straight for him. He gets plowed both times and both times finds a clutch play. Incredible job by A.J. McCarron, who's got the obviously championship pedigree ×2. Ben DiNucci, the former Cowboy. What's up, Cowboys fans? For the Sea Dragons, apparently had multiple turnovers in back-to-back weeks. He throws a really pretty ball, Aaron, but it wasn't good enough. And he was fired up when he threw the last touchdown pass over two defenders' heads. Wasn't good enough. And by the way, Josh Gordon is in Seattle again. This time, obviously, for the B League and not the NFL. Thoughts on this? I know you didn't see it, but thoughts on just all these players' names that obviously come out of the woodworks.
So I did happen to catch the comeback, as you say.
Yay.
And I'm digging the 3-point conversion.
Those are nice.
I think it should be a little further back, but
agreed.
But I'm digging it as an option. I don't know if the NFL would ever adopt something like that.
No.
I really think that it should be like a 5, 10, 15 kind of thing for the 1 point, 2 point, 3 point.
Agreed.
Kind of situation. And honestly, correct me if I'm wrong here, has the XFL taken the kicker out of the game?
The kicker can kick field goals, and like I said, I explained to you, I believe it was Monday's show, I guess we were on, that what they do is they line up at like the 35, and the kicker like kicks it to the returner, who are obviously on both sides of the field, and then like they just start running at like when the guy catches the ball. So the kicker's there, but it's not like super crazy now.
Honestly, I think the XFL might gain a little bit more popularity by just eliminating the kicker. You're 4th and 7 from the 40, you're going for it.
True.
But that can come here or there as the league, gets going and hopefully sticks around this time. Yeah, A.J. McCarron, obviously, you know him from Alabama, won a title. Did he win 2? I don't know if he won 2.
He won 2. I forgot about that, actually.
Did he win 2? Okay. I remember him beating down Brady Quinn in the Irish the one time. Yeah. Ben DiNucci, I only remember him from the awful season that Andy Dalton had to play quarterback as well in that year.
And also the Hard Knocks he was on there when we watched that. I think he got cut on that or something. Somehow that worked out.
I really hope the XFL just lets Josh Gordon do his thing. I mean, smoke out. Who cares? I mean, I know the NFL is a little different. You know, the XFL should just let Josh Gordon be Josh Gordon. But as far as like, you know, the names, yeah, AJ McCarron's a big name on there, but I'd like to tune into a game. I'm not gonna rearrange my day for one of these.
Well, Vegas Vipers play tomorrow, so you're good.
What
They host the DC Defenders.
what channel do they even play on? Is it YouTube?
They play on ESPN Plus mostly, but there's some games on ESPN, some on ABC, and some on FX. Like last night was on FX.
If it's on ESPN Plus, I can watch it. I don't have. Well, I guess ESPN would be the playing on there too. But if it's on FX, I can't watch it. I don't have cable.
No, ESPN Plus though, and the broadcast looks phenomenal.
That's
I love
good.
ESPN Plus.
Might have to tune into the Vegas one. I'm not even sure where they play at around here.
That'd be a good thing to find out because, like, you know where the Desert Dogs play, right?
I do. Yeah, they're on the Strip.
Sweet. Hey, you guys got I think they're gonna have. I don't know if baseball's doing. I know NHL's on ESPN Plus. So is XFL. So is NLL for those that care. I do. I mean, that's the most hockey I've ever watched is on ESPN Plus.
Yeah, I mean ESPN Plus is definitely, now that ESPN has the NHL contract, they've definitely been promoting it, portraying it a lot. So
yeah, I love it. Let's get to, speaking of hockey pucks, which is your phone lead up against hockey pucks again?
it is. Would you like to see?
No, we are good. How many of those? Like 5 of them, right?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7 hockey pucks.
I'm terrible. Patrick Kane, you know, he makes this show for the darndest reason sometimes. And I feel like this is like the second or third time we've talked about him in trade talks. Well, I guess it'd be the second year because it's our second year doing this. But anyways, why is he such a polarizing figure? And then tell us like if you think a trade's going to happen and where he could land. What we got going on with Patrick Kane, man?
Well, 2 things. In my opinion, I don't believe he's really a polarizing figure. There was obviously the rape allegations, which nothing. So, same with like Michael Vick and Ben Roethlisberger. Well, not Michael Vick. Sorry, that's not a good example. But with Ben Roethlisberger, nothing was ever formally charged or convicted. But he's found guilty in the court of public opinion. So that's
Karl Malone. I've been crucified, but that's another one.
Karl Malone had a baby with a 13-year-old girl, so that's a whole different bag of worms.
I agree, but I'm just saying he did the same charges. I don't agree with it, but you get it.
Yeah, I just don't know how statutory rape didn't happen there. But anyways, don't want to go down that road. But I guess you're right. Karl Malone got away with it twice, actually. Of not having to be a dad, despite all the money he makes. Anyways, Patrick Kane, like I said, he's kind of in that. He's guilty in the court of public opinion, so he'll always carry that mantra, that scarlet letter. He's an incredible hockey player still, to this day. I mean, 10 years later, off the cups that Chicago won, 3 out of 5 years. I don't think he's worth the contract, and I think that's what the problem is with a lot of teams.
Westbrook,
who they don't want Patrick Kane for the price. Now, in hockey, you can retain salary, so it's going to be huge. Now, any team who acquires him might have to bring another team in to retain salary because this guy makes, I believe, $10 or $11 million. Now, in NFL money, that doesn't sound like a lot, but the salary cap's only like 82 in hockey, so it's a little different. If you're talking about over 10% of a cap for one guy, it means something.
He better be good, yeah.
Now, does he have still enough in the tank? If you can get him for 25% of his salary, absolutely. And I think teams will be jumping. But a lot of fan bases don't believe, because if you're going to have to retain 75% of his salary, you're talking about having to give up first and second round picks to do that. So the number one team right now that looks the most interested, which depending on what you believe, they're always interested for every single person, is the New York Rangers. I'm not so sure that Patrick Kane makes them a cup contender, but I don't see another team as interested right now. I mean, we're still a week away in the trade deadline, so anything can happen. I don't see another team. Vegas has been rumored. I don't see that happening. However, they did just move one of their long-term injury guys, Shea Weber, to free up some money. I don't know if that's for Patrick Kane or if that's for future salary cap considerations, but Vegas is always known to be interested in anybody that comes on the market. Mark Stone, Eric Carlson, all these guys, including Patrick Kane's no different. Jack Eichel. I mean, they've acquired.
Jack Eichel was the one I was thinking of.
I mean, between Mark Stone, Jack Eichel, and Eric Carlson, they've acquired 2 out of those 3. So anything is possible. I think for the Blackhawks, they got to play this right because he is one of the icons of Chicago Blackhawks hockey. And I know that they can't rebuild till they get Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews off the books.
Yep.
So they're dying for this to happen. However, they need to make sure they retain as little salary as possible if they want to start rebuilding. So it's kind of a tricky situation. Ultimately, I don't think he goes anywhere.
Did we talk about this last year? The same thing happened?
Yeah, I mean, he didn't go anywhere last year either.
Wasn't there some controversy surrounding him that time?
I don't remember, to be honest.
There was like some mask thing or whatever.
Oh, there was the sexual assault scandal with the upper management, and some of the players were accused of just ignoring it, turning the other cheek. I do remember that. It was one of the players was sexually assaulted by a scout or something. I can't remember all the details.
Or vice versa, yeah.
Yeah. So weird stuff. Weird stuff. But like I said, ultimately, I think it's New York or nowhere for Patrick.
That's fair. But would you welcome Vegas? Like, I'm sure you would welcome him, but would Vegas fit with Jack Eichel and all those guys and Patrick Kane?
As a wing, it's hard to say where he'd slot. I mean, he'd have to slot in the top line, replacing Mark Stone. But it's like, does he make Eichel better? Maybe.
But the Kraken
aren't going to go get that kind of contract right now.
That's fair.
But sometimes these teams will call up in the 11th hour, and if you're that desperate to get rid of Patrick Kane, you might do it. So we'll see.
Lakers got rid of Westbrook. That's for the third segment. When I come back from this break that only I can see, we're going to talk some NFL stuff, including Daniel Jones, the Colts. Boy, this is a Mike flavored show. And Denver Broncos. We'll be right back. Oh, honey, we're back. Aaron, tell me about Fanatics, bro.
Fanatics, it's pretty awesome. If you've never heard of them by now, you can't call yourself a sports fan. But if and when you do shop Fanatics, we have a little favor to ask you. And what is that favor? That favor is please go to MikeandAaronDrive.com. You see it right there in the corner underneath Mike. MikeandAaronDrive.com. There's a special tab there that says click the F. Do what it says. When you click that F, it will take you into Fanatics like you always intended to go to, like nothing had changed. You're going to Fanatics. You're going to buy all the great apparel, merchandise, and memorabilia. Just stop by MikeandAaronDrive.com first on your way there. Click that tab, and it'll take you into the largest sports and memorabilia, merchandise, and apparel place I've ever seen on this God's green World Wide Web. Anyways, long story short, help out this show because you can see we don't even have backgrounds anymore. We got a duck over here. You got a duck over here. Help out the show by buying all your sports gear from Fanatics today at MikeandAaronDrive.com.
It is safe to say we've regressed. I'm kidding.
I don't want to call anybody out, but look, the previous streaming provider has really gone downhill over the last.
It's really sad too because it was great.
It really was. It was very easy to use. A good program, and I don't know what happened, to be honest with you. You're more involved with that than I am, so. We'll get back on track though. We'll get back on track.
Say next Monday when we hopefully have a show, then it should be good.
Yeah.
See, it'll look clean. Okay, that's a nice banner. I like this.
And maybe if your boy Daniel Jones gets $45 million, he can break you off some since you've been standing him for 5 years.
Well, let's start off with that, pal. So Daniel Jones, this is incredible. I have made myself clear for years. I'm a Daniel Jones supporter. It paid off for a playoff game. Thank you, Daniel Jones. Unfortunately, Daniel Jones is now getting greedy. I mean, I don't know if it's surprising, but this like shocks me. Like it low key like took me aback. Like, whoa, like really, dude? Like, what are we doing here? Maybe it's because he has been down, and maybe it's because the Giants haven't had success since Eli Manning, and even that, they lucked into two of them. Not that you can do that, but you get what I'm saying. The point is, what I don't picture this guy being the one who says, I want $45 million or more. I just don't picture him being that guy. What we've seen from Daniel Jones from the media is this all shucks kind of guy, this shy guy, not a leader. And the more things that come out, oh, he's actually not bad. He gets fired up sometimes, and now he's greedy. I don't know if greedy is the right word, but it blows my mind because, like I said, what we've been portrayed, what the media's led us to believe is that this guy's like, oh, I'll do anything to help a team win. I'll take a $5 million contract. We all knew that was a lie. I never heard that. I'm just saying that's what it seemed like. So I would say 25. I could go 30, 32 because of the markets. 45 is asinine, stupid, and absurd. That is stupid. He knows it's stupid. But the fact he switched agencies shows me he doesn't care if it's stupid. But I'll tell you what it is. It's career suicide, pal. Because this team Brian Daboll made this guy look good. Go try somewhere else, Daniel Jones. I don't know if I'll be able to support you as much, man. I really don't.
So this one feels to me like reach for the moon, settle for the stars.
Amen.
I think he and his team knows they're not getting 45 million. I mean, what's Pat Mahomes? Isn't Pat Mahomes about 45, 50 right now?
But it's also team friendly, which it played out. So yeah, but you're right.
And I mean, and we're talking about that's a guy who's won 2 MVPs and 2 Super Bowls. You're a guy who, luckily, by your playoff appearance, because let's be honest, his stats weren't super. What did he throw for 15 touchdowns this year? I know he had some injuries.
Right.
I mean, your stats don't show 45 million. Your career arc is just now starting to kind of traject.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of been like this, and then maybe it's starting to take off now. You guys made a playoff.
It's a slight takeoff.
Your third place. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is kind of reach for the moon, settle for the stars. With the NFL, the contracts are so tricky nowadays. I'm not gonna pretend like I know like how all the, like you said, $45 million, but it's team friendly. Okay, sure. I mean, I get it. I do remember reading that, like it's a team friendly 45 million, whereas Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers aren't so team friendly. So it's just one of those things. I'm with you. I think in that 25 to 30 million, like the Jimmy Garoppolo, like $28 million range. But when you're Daniel Jones, like this is the contract for quarterbacks. Hell, for a lot of positions, like your rookie deal, you're almost kind of a bargain find. And when you hit that, that second contract and you're still a starter in the league, you're going to want to get yours. And I respect Daniel Jones for trying to do that, but it's not a realistic probability, and he won't fetch that from any other team but the Giants. And I think it's very slim that the Giants would cave to that, because that would almost assuredly say that Saquon Barkley is walking out the door. That would almost assuredly say we can't bring in a top flight receiver, because look at last offseason was the offseason where receivers got paid. So a lot of the receivers who are going to be trying to find homes who are top quality, honestly, I could see Odell Beckham back in New York with Daniel Jones. Not on a $25 million a year deal, but this is what you're looking at, where you pay this guy $45 million, you're going to be praying Kenny Golladay all of a sudden finds the Detroit juice again, because you can't afford anybody else.
I'm gonna predict it's gonna be about 32, and it's gonna be like team friendly. I'm gonna predict no more than 35. I think somewhere between 30, like low 30s. I think people are gonna like, oh my god, 30 million Daniel Jones. But what is Dak Prescott making? Because I have an interesting point to make. Dak's about like 40, right?
I think he's close to 40. Yeah.
That was about, 2 or 3 years ago? Can you please tell me now, based on the markets and based on their performances, has Dak proven 1,000% he is better than Daniel Jones? Now, given, like I said, their team circumstances, their offensive lines, their running game or lack thereof, Wide receivers, can you definitively say right now Dak Prescott will win me more games every single year than Daniel Jones? I don't know.
I say yes right now, but
Whoa.
I don't feel great about it. But I would say, are you saying like if you put Daniel Jones on the Cowboys and Dak Prescott on the Giants, how would the records turn out?
I think Giants would be worse. I think Cowboys would be slightly worse.
I disagree right now. Now that could change. I'm never cemented in any opinions,
right?
Except for one, obviously.
Uh-huh.
But right now, if you were asking me this question, I think Dak Prescott's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. Yes.
But do we think that since the market has gotten more money, would you be surprised if he got $35 million and just that was it?
I wouldn't be surprised at 35 because I think 35 in the quarterback market's
not bad anymore.
It's not expensive. Yeah, and the thing is, if you can lock him up for 5 to 7 more years and he actually performs, then in that third contract, he'll be, I don't know his age, but he'll be probably 32, 33 at that point, maybe 34 coming into some decent prime years for the last, his last contract. It's
get a 50 piece.
I think if you can get him for 6 years at 35 million a year, so you're looking at what, 6 years, 210. I think you got to feel happy if you're the Giants. If you feel that this is your guy, there's a lot of thought that Derek Carr might end up a New York Giant or New York Jet.
That Derek Carr thing, he's just a savior like he was last year. I mean, that's enough Daniel Jones talk. Is that good for you on that one?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he's not getting 45.
I don't think he's getting 40 for that matter, but yeah.
I think he's bought in around 30 million.
That's fair. I like the 6 years, 35 though, because that would be a little bit easier to get a 35 or 38. Is because it would be 6 or 7 years, but he ain't doing no 4 years, 35 million a year.
No, because if you have to sign him again, that's a huge jump, and you might end up losing a guy who's, could be really good at 2 years old.
Hey, I would love that. Okay. I want to get to this Colts draft thing for like a few minutes because I was doing some PFF mock drafts. Now, thankfully, there are other websites that do that now because I refuse to support PFF in any way, shape, or form. But they were the only ones that had a mock draft for a while, so that's why I did this here. So I've been looking at the Colts, obviously, because I'm a Colts fan. And I found it very interesting. You had to trade, I mean, this is according to their little AI system, a bunch of stuff just to get the first overall pick. So I said, okay, my first part of this in the draft, if I'm the Colts, I want Bryce Young. That's option 1A. 1A is I want Bryce Young. I feel like he is a step, a few steps above every other quarterback in this class right now. And I feel like he's the pro's pro. He would make sense going from Peyton to Luck to eventually Bryce Young, because there's a lot of road bumps in between there. But I'd like to think Bryce Young is the third coming of Christ after Peyton and Andrew Luck before him. Now, I do want to say option 1B, and I think it's a hell of an option. Pick number 4, Quentin Johnston from TCU. They say he's a phenomenal prospect at wide receiver and could be a number 1 within his first 2 years in the league, one of the best receivers in the league. So you take him at number 4. You pick 35. You take, let's say, either a guard or an offensive tackle, or you take Josh Downs, who's a speedy wide receiver, and the NFL loves speed nowadays. Look at Tyreek Hill. Then in early round 4, guess who pops up at the quarterback position? Hendon Hooker. I'm not the biggest fan of Hendon Hooker, but I'm saying if you want to maybe, I don't want to say this because Colts fans are going to throw something at me, maybe settle with Matt Ryan again in the tank for Arch Manning, or not tank for Arch Manning, but, hold on to it until other guys come in the league, like Caleb Williams. If you don't believe in Bryce Young, option 1B is not bad based on how the draft was lining up for me.
I mean, to say that,
I mean, that's a good roster building up.
Yeah, I mean that's fine. I understand that. It's just Hendon Hooker scares me a little bit here
It
with
does, you know.
coming off the knee injury.
That's
He would.
right. I can't, oh.
I mean, it's tough. I don't.
Go
I'm
ahead.
curious to know who wants Bryce Young bad enough, because I'm pretty sure Matt Eberflus wants Bryce Young.
Huh.
I just don't know if he's going to have enough time. Throw away Justin Fields to. I mean, I don't know what he's going to get for Justin Fields. Go ahead and draft Bryce Young. Is he going to have enough time to develop Bryce Young?
I'll tell you what, Aaron. Here's what I like. I at pick 4, I think Bears could trade back and pick CJ Stroud and be just fine.
They're not picking CJ Stroud. It's Bryce Young or Justin Fields.
But for me as a Colts fan though, I don't want CJ Stroud at 4. I either want Bryce Young or wait until you find a Hendon Hooker, Jake Hayner, Stetson Bennett. I'm not saying those guys. I'm joking here. I don't mind those guys, but I know that people don't. And then listen, Shaq Leonard has been kind of, hurt. We have a nice linebacker named Zaire Franklin. I think Shaq Leonard and Michael Pittman Jr. could be trade baits coming up here soon, because we have Alec Pierce. Then we could pair him with Quentin Johnston. We could add a great offensive tackle, whatever you want. Have Quentin Nelson there still, and then draft the quarterback next year. Oh, please. I would not be mad.
Well, there's only one quarterback next year, and that's Caleb Williams. So you'd really have to punt another season.
I know the Steichen don't want to do that.
I think your better option in the 4th, maybe the 3rd, is to maybe draft Max Duggan.
Watch your mouth.
You don't like Max Duggan from TCU?
Oh, I thought you meant the 4th overall pick. I was like, what the hell is he talking about?
No. I don't know where Max Duggan's going to go. He's kind of been listed all over the place. Maybe even a 2nd or a 3rd round pick. I mean,
I'd pick Stetson over Max.
Oh, the guy's 26 years old. I mean,
that's fine with me. A little bridge gap. I'm good.
That doesn't work in the NFL. I think you'd regret that.
Oh, that's fair.
He's like Sam. They're just.
I do like Sam.
Yeah, they just don't. He's just an older Sam Ehlinger, and it just doesn't work.
That's fair.
I mean, you saw Carson Wentz, who was a little bit mobile as well. It just doesn't. You need a pocket present quarterback. I think Max Duggan might be a good 3rd round pick right there in that spot, if he even goes that far. I mean, we're still almost 2 months away that these sliders are just going to go up and down and up and down. One thing I can say is if I'm a GM of any of these teams, I'm not taking CJ Stroud. I'm just not.
Because Ohio State, yeah.
Well, the Ohio State thing, he seems to just not be able to be there in the big games. Now, the Georgia game is a little different, but I mean, losing to Michigan twice is kind of tough. I don't know. I don't know if I'd rest my laurels on CJ Stroud. I like Bryce Young, and I think the Bears ultimately are going to move on from Justin Fields.
I think Clayton Tune is another big body from Houston who I haven't seen a lot of. He's been going a lot in the later mocks, and that could be another one to look at, because I don't want a small guy like you said. I want I don't want Will Levis either, because he reminds me of Carson Wentz. Just to put that out there on the record, because I don't do player comparisons. This guy made so many dumb throws that it made me want to cry. I know you want to talk Vance Joseph going to the Broncos again. This time the black guy had to take a step back. Whoops. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, it was an interesting spot here. I did think this was kind of a comical hire. I don't know how I would feel if I'm Vance Joseph. Just 3 years ago, this was my team. And now he's still the DC, which he's a good DC. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of a funny little thing. Like Sean Payton brought him in. I mean, it's good for Sean Payton. I think it's kind of an awkward, the good thing for Vance Joseph and the Denver Broncos is that this is a completely different ownership team. So everything that Vance Joseph's pretty much walking into with regards to people are probably kind of different. There's not going to be too much bad blood. I thought off first glance, that's kind of an LOL when I read that.
That's fair. One last thing I want to get to today, because I feel like, we got like 2 minutes to talk about this. Lakers are suddenly contenders, according to a lot of talking heads. They destroyed the Warriors without Steph Curry last night, but the key was LeBron and AD did not play great. What are your thoughts on Rob Pelinka getting hate again and then building a second contender in like 4 years?
What makes you think they're a contender, though?
This team looks really good, like really good.
Okay.
The first 2 games with D'Lo.
I mean, the good thing for the Lakers is if they can just get, I know we said this last year too, if they can just get in, they have the best championship pedigree not named Golden State right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, in the Western Conference.
Fair.
Phoenix, no. Denver, Dallas, no.
Yeah, I agree.
Phoenix, to be fair, they were 2 games away from a title, but they blew it. And I know the speculation in that year that they went to the finals. If LeBron doesn't get hurt, they might not even win that series. I know. Well, we can speculate until the cows come home, but I do wonder if LeBron can lead this team by doing less, because it seems like I know he's averaging 30 points a night, but it seemed like he was firing up 300-400 shots a night too. He was Kobe back in the day, and you saw the Kobe who had to take 50 shots a game. Those teams stunk.
Right.
Those bad. Those were the Smush Parker teams. And I think LeBron, Pelinka, does he need to pull off one more move?
Well, I mean, you can't now, but I do.
Is it passed? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's officially. But hey, I'm not mad at it though. They got Malik Beasley too.
Yeah, that has to be awkward with Scottie Pippen Jr., huh?
Yeah, they talked about that. That's funny. That's pretty funny.
I thought the NBA trade deadline was a little bit later, like the hockey one was, but
it might be later. But I feel like they were talking about it pretty close.
No, I think you're right, because I think when KD got moved, that was it. So
yeah,
but it doesn't mean, they might bring in somebody who's sitting on their couch watching infomercials right now. So
Dwight Howard's still in Taiwan.
If you need a big body, that could be. I mean, especially if AD can't get to the finish line.
We'll schedule that tweet for a later date.
I've already got locked and loaded that AD's hurt again.
We'll put in the drafts. All right. That's so sad. Get well soon, AD. Again, I don't even know. He's fine now, but I like the afro's funny to me.
We'll write him a preemptive get well soon card.
That's right. I like that. Take us home, dude.
All right. Are you coming back on the other side?
No.
All right. Well, then that's going to do it here for the Friday edition of the AM Drive. Make sure in between now and Monday's show, you visit mikeandaarondrive.com. It's got sponsors, shop, socials, and, of course, our YouTube page as well. Make sure you subscribe. I think I'm going to change that to shop, sponsors, socials, and subscribe. I think that's what I'm going to change it to. But in mikeandaarondrive.com is where you can find everything AM Drive related. So until then, for Michael Carvelis, I'm Aaron Crouch saying have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy some XFL, some NLL, and some NHL. And we'll see you on Monday.
Drive safe.